But when I held the Sony a7 IV, I just felt like, oh, this is a camera. Like, this is what a camera should feel like. It felt sturdy. It felt like you can take on the world with it. It's another beautiful morning here in Austin, Texas, and it's even more beautiful because I got my hands on the Sony a7 IV. Let's go downtown and take some street photography with it. So I came downtown to try out the new a7 IV with the Tamron 24-70. Now, this is the first time I've ever shot on both of these. I don't think I've ever shot on the 24-70 G Master nor the a7 IV. So first of all, I haven't messed with the camera at all. Straight out of the box, I haven't messed with any of the settings. I haven't put it on D-Log, which is usually what I shoot on. Also, I'm not using any microphones right now. So whatever you're hearing out of the camera right now is straight from the camera, no attached mic. And I just wanted to see what it was like as a new shooter if you were to just buy the a7 IV and not mess with it at all and just get a really good lens, what it would look like. So as a street photographer, I decided to come down to downtown Austin and get some good shots and just ride around on the one wheel and see what I can grab, whether it was city, animals, people running and all that. I want to see kind of what shots I can get with this setup. All right, looks like we got some good photos. Let's edit them and see how this camera looks. Got to bring it in just a tad. Okay, so I just finished editing the photos that I took on the Sony a7 IV with the 24-70 G Master, and I am not surprised at how good this camera is. I honestly think this is probably the best setup that you can get as a street photographer if you can afford it. The reason I say that is because as a street photographer, you want a camera that is quick, something that right when you turn it on, it's ready to shoot. And that's probably one of the first things I noticed with the Sony a7 IV was that it was ready to shoot right when I turned it on. I didn't really have to wait for it to turn on, or you know, some cameras have some lag. And after shooting with the Sony a7C for over a year now, I've shot on the Sony a7S II and different camera bodies. And this was just something that I noticed. Now, the reason that's important is because when you're doing street photography, or if you're shooting a wedding, or if you're doing something that has to do with action sports, things happen really quick. And I know it's happened to me before where, you know, something's going on, and by the time I turn the camera on and I'm waiting for it to turn on, the moment has already passed, or, you know, it's already happened. And as a photographer, you're always wanting to capture the best moments wherever you're at. And that's the first thing that I really enjoyed the most about using the Sony a7 IV was just how quick it is. And it shoots in 10 frames per second, which is great because if you're doing a wedding, if you're doing sports, again, if you're doing street photography or so many different types of photography, you want something that is going to allow you to get your images quick. And the Sony a7 IV has 10 frames per second, but like I said, it just seems like it was loading those photos quick and I wasn't really waiting for it to catch up, and it was just doing its job as it should as a beast of a camera. Now this isn't meant to be a full in-depth view of the Sony a7 IV. That's something I'm going to be doing later on. This was just something that I wanted to take it out on the street and see what it would be like if somebody bought the Sony a7 IV. And I know probably most people can't afford the 24-70, but if, let's say you just paired these two up together, you bought it from a camera store and you went out to shoot. And that's kind of was the idea behind this video. Was I was taking it as somebody who was like, all right, give me the camera, I'm just gonna go shoot, without really much knowledge. Now, the only thing I didn't do different was I did not use the auto on it. I was doing everything manual. So whether it is the f-stop, the aperture, whatever it is, I was, you know, doing everything manual, and that's just kind of the way that I've always shot. But if you're somebody who is just buying this camera, you're new to photography, I think it's such a good camera to learn on. And again, for everything that it does, it's great for hybrid shooters. Now, if you're someone who likes to do photo and video, like myself, I think this is a great camera. Again, it's a little expensive, but at the end of the day, if you have the money to dish out for it, I would say do it. Because one, it's the newest Sony camera that's came out, so you don't have to upgrade for at least 2 to 3 years. The other reason I say that is because the menu is completely different from any other of the Sonys that I've used, from the Sony a7C and on. The menu is completely different, and it seems like there's a lot more ways to customize it and have fun with it. So if you're somebody who's getting into photography and you're looking for something that you can just learn on and go crazy with, I think there's so much that you can do with the Sony a7 IV that, if you could afford it, get it. Now, if you are a photographer and you already have a camera, do you need to upgrade? And I would say not really. You know, shooting with it, I really enjoyed it. I think one of the first things I noticed from when I held it was the grip. And the grip just felt so good. It felt like a well-made camera. And mainly is because I have the a7C, which is a crop sensor body, but with a full frame capability. So when I'm holding this Sony a7C, it is a smaller grip, and I'm used to that because my hands ain't that big. But when I held the Sony a7 IV, I just felt like, oh, this is a camera. Like, this is what a camera should feel like. It felt sturdy. It felt like you can take on the world with it. So if you're someone who is looking to upgrade, whether from a crop sensor, or let's say you have like a Sony a7S II or a Sony AR2 or something, you know, or a Canon, I would say definitely upgrade if you can afford it. But if you have like the Sony a7 III, the Sony a7C, or some of the newer cameras that's been coming out, you probably don't need to upgrade. You're probably good where you're at. But I would say, again, if you can afford it and you're not breaking the bank, you're not breaking your back, your parents ain't getting mad at you, your wife is not yelling at you, then buy it. Trust me. And I also just want to give a shout out to Precision Camera, because they allowed me to use the camera for the last few days, and I've had so much fun with it. Again, I almost didn't want to give it back. I felt like Lloyd and Dumb and Dumber when I was giving it back. I was just like, goodbye, my love. It is one of those cameras that from when I started using it, I was just so impressed with it. I just felt like this camera could be taken anywhere and used for anything, and you're going to get great video, great photos, and a great response out of it. Because I think at the end of the day, the quality of image that it puts out is amazing. It's a 33 megapixel camera, so you know that you're going to have really good detail, and that whoever you give these photos to, they're going to be happy. So again, I'm going to be putting out a couple more videos on a full review of the Sony a7 IV, and I kind of want to compare it to the Sony a7C, and I'm going to do another video reviewing the Sony 200 to 600 millimeter lens, which again, I've never shot on a lens that massive and that big. And I never thought I would like shooting on something like that, but the images and the quality and the photos that I got from it just really made me, I was like, man, maybe I should invest in a zoom lens like this. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. So we're almost halfway to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. We're at 436 subscribers. Thank you all so much for subscribing. And looking at the analytics, over 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you're part of those people who are not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, comment below different types of video that you want to see. I really want to use this platform just as a way to give you guys more and more information as a drone photographer and videographer, as a professional videographer, and pretty much all around shooter and content creator. I feel like there's so much information that I have, but I don't know what you guys need unless you tell me, and then I would love to create videos and courses and different things to help you go where you need to go in your photography and videography career. So whatever that is, whatever you feel like you're struggling with, whatever you feel like you need help with, whatever you want more information on, comment that below and I will do my best to make videos for you to help you get where you want to go in your career. So until next time, catch you on the flip side. Peace out.